Hey guys, welcome to Breaking Feed. A couple months ago, I had unboxed this amazing console from Nintendo. Is it worth buying in 2022? Let's take a look. Roll the intro. I'm just going to put on my favorite cap, Coke. They're not sponsoring it, but my hair is a little bit messy just because I woke up a little bit late. So, I grew up actually playing a lot of Nintendo. Even though I had other consoles in the house, and I was blessed to have parents who would buy a bunch of consoles. But the one company I would go towards was Nintendo. I owned a Nintendo DS Lite. I used to play on that. My dad had the N64, and we still have it to this day. And we also had the Nintendo Wii, the Wii U, the Nintendo 3DS, and the new Nintendo 3DS XL. Now the Switch that came out. So I kind of have a nostalgic type factor for Nintendo. Essentially, yeah, I grew up, playing Nintendo, and this is an interesting technology from Nintendo. So this in itself is a combination of the Nintendo Wii U and Nintendo 3DS slash 3DS XL. So Nintendo tried to do something similar to this with the Wii U, and it was an interesting thing. When the Wii U was announced and the ads were up, people thought it was either a separate console, something like the Switch, where it's a tablet. It's like a portable Wii on the go, kind of like the Nintendo DS. And other people thought it was an accessory to the Wii, an already existing console. But lo and behold, I mean, essentially it was a whole new console. You had to buy some. So when you bought the Wii U, you had to buy. It came with obviously the Wii itself, the Wii U console, which looked like the Wii console, but then you also got the tablet, which is attached to it. It's like it's a controller with a tablet built into it, and a lot of people didn't. I went to a lot of people because I'm not going to speak for everyone, but for someone like me, I felt like it was kind of like false advertising because the way they made it look like. And so it was kind of, I feel like Nintendo was kind of fixing the issues that they had with the Wii U. It's kind of essentially when Nintendo released the Wii U and the 3DS, it was like a family type console. It's like having the iPhone and iPad, part of the ecosystem. So that was how the 3DS and the Wii U was, essentially kind of like the DSi and the Wii. So yeah, essentially with the Nintendo, the ecosystem, the 3DS and the Wii U, they were able to then, obviously with the technology of the Wii U and the 3DS, they were able to build a really cool console where it's a really powerful tablet-like console with a software that looks similar to the 3DS and Wii U. But what's also cool is you can take out the console. Use these as two separate controllers to give these two to your friends to play on. So you can use this by itself, or obviously you can connect this to a TV. So you can play a PlayStation, Xbox type console, but for the Nintendo. So this is like a 2-in-1, which is honestly pretty cool. I'm not going to be talking about specs because that's not really the main goal over here. Um, I bought this even though I have paid $50 extra for the OLED version. I decided to pick up this because really you're just getting the Ethernet port and you're just getting a little bit better in display. But other than that, this is honestly the way to go. I know with the OLED one, they updated the stands on the back of this Switch. There is a stand that you can prop if you're not next to a monitor or like a PC and you're on the go and you want to play, 2-player games on this. So, this is propped up. I know with the OLED, it's the whole bottom half of the tablet which props up, which is honestly much better. Um, but then with the Switch Lite, honestly, it's $100 cheaper than this. It's like what, $200. This is $300. Honestly, you might as well save at least 100 to 150 getting the OLED or the normal Switch. The reason I say that is because yeah, even though it's cheaper, it's just $100 cheaper. And with the Lite, you're not able to connect your Switch to a monitor or TV, and you cannot really, take out the controllers. But let's say if you do buy extra controllers, the thing is, it's a normal Switch, but the controls are non-removable. It's like if they make the Wii U tablet itself slimmer and more portable with the Switch OS. That's essentially it. You might as well just pick up this, honestly. I've taken this to work a couple of times. I have a couple of friends who would bring their Switch with them, um, and it's pretty cool. So there was a time where I went to work. I used to work at T-Mobile, and there was a day where me and my coworker showed up to work, and we were done. So typically, certain stores you have to work an hour. Yeah, if you're doing opening shift, you have to come an hour before the store opens, set up everything. And me and my coworker were actually already done from the start because we were able to do it fast. And we knew how to do everything. And so since I had the Switch and I had Super Smash Bros. And Mario Kart 8, I was able to take out the controllers, give him one controller, and we were literally for like 45 minutes, we were just playing on the Nintendo Switch, which was amazing. And this is really an underrated console. Yes, it's not powerful as like, you know, your Xbox and PlayStation, obviously, because this is the console itself. But honestly, I think this is a really powerful console. I honestly think people should buy this. The game library is amazing. You got a lot of obviously your amazing Nintendo library, main games like Link, Zelda, Super Smash Bros. Like I said, Mario games. But you also have things like the amazing Pokemon games. I recently picked up the remastered Pokemon Pearl that used to be on the DS, but now they remastered it for the Nintendo Switch. And I've been playing Mario Kart. And recently they released the Lego Star Wars game, the Skywalker Saga, onto a bunch of consoles, including the Switch, and a lot of people have been buying this to play that game, from what I've heard, which is pretty cool to say the least. One thing honestly I honestly think this is honestly one of the best features, I would say, on this console, besides the modular controller and it being modular. I don't know if this can focus. I'm looking at my monitor. but it's Type C. It's USB-C, and honestly, it's amazing. The reason I say USB-C is one of the coolest features on this is just because it's a universal port. A lot of technology are using a lot of battery banks, a lot of accessories, docks, computers, smartphones, tablets. Currently I'm using my iPad's monitor right now to view this footage as we're speaking, and this has a Type-C. Honestly, pretty interesting, pretty cool. And typically in the past, I know before Type-C, micro USB was a common thing, so a lot of Android tablets and Android smartphones and a lot of accessories were using micro USB. But for consoles, they have their own proprietary charger. And this is honestly cool. And a lot of consoles like the PS5 and Xbox do have a Type-C port, so having that is pretty cool, honestly. One thing that I do dislike about having this Nintendo Switch is the storage, the internal storage on this. It's not good. I actually had a 64 gigabyte SD card, a micro SD card I wasn't using. Originally, I bought it to do most of my photography, but then I bought an SSD to transfer all my data. So yeah, and I was using an 8 gigs SD card. But yeah, I decided to put all my things into an SSD, and I decided to use that 64 gig memory card in here. But even with the 64 gig internal and the memory card installed, it still wasn't enough to have at least 3 to 4 game data in this, which is kind of disappointing coming from a device which is portable, where like smartphones and tablets, you do store a lot of things. I just don't know why 64 gigabytes was the standard, because for a gaming console you do need a lot more, unlike cell phones and tablets, which is, you know, different. So yeah, it worth spending money on this? I would say it is. I would honestly pick up this or the OLED version if you're willing to spend $50 extra. I do have a monitor from 2008 or 2010 that I'm still using, and I connect my Switch to it, and it works. It still works perfectly fine. So honestly, yeah. And the game library is amazing. So yeah. I would give this a 9 out of 10. So yeah. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay tuned for more content. And yeah, show your love by subscribing to this channel, and sharing this video with everyone else. And as always, please stay tuned for more content. So yeah, thank you and stay safe.